At its peak, South Korea had more than 20,000 PC bangs, publicly accessible gaming rooms, operating around the clock across a country roughly the size of Indiana. That is one gaming room for every 2,500 people. The question that statistic raises is not simply why Koreans like video games. It is how a network of dimly lit, smoke-filled rooms became the physical infrastructure for an entirely new form of mass culture. One that gave the world professional esports, global streaming, and a template for competitive gaming that no other country has yet replicated. Something specific happened in Korea in a very short window of time, and it is worth understanding precisely what. The numbers that define PC bang culture are striking. According to the Korea Creative Content Agency, known as KOCCA, the number of registered PC bangs peaked at around 22,000 in the early 2000s. By 2023, that figure had fallen to roughly 7,000. Yet each remaining venue averages around 40 seats and runs 24 hours a day. The Korean game market was valued at approximately 22 trillion Korean won, around 16 billion US dollars, in 2022, making it one of the top 5 game markets in the world, according to the Korea Game Industry Agency. StarCraft alone, the real-time strategy game that defined PC bang culture in the late 1990s, sold more than 4.5 million copies in Korea by 2007, according to Blizzard Entertainment. An extraordinary figure for a single country of 50 million people. And surveys by Statistics Korea have consistently found that gaming is the most common leisure activity among Korean men in their 20s and 30s. The origin of PC bang culture is inseparable from one of the worst economic crises Korea has ever faced. In 1997 and 1998, the Asian financial crisis hit Korea with devastating force, pushing unemployment sharply upward and leaving many young people with time on their hands and very little money. Personal computers were still expensive to own, but renting time on one for roughly 1,000 Korean won, less than $1 US per hour, was affordable. Entrepreneurs opened gaming rooms rapidly, and the government accelerated the trend by investing heavily in broadband infrastructure. By 2000, Korea had one of the highest broadband penetration rates in the world, according to the OECD. This combination, cheap access, fast internet, and a generation of young people looking for affordable social space, created a perfect environment. PC bangs became, in effect, the town squares of a new digital society. Places where friends gathered, rivalries formed, and skills were honed over many hours at very low cost. What PC bangs produced over the following decade was not just a pastime, it was a pipeline. The density of skilled players competing daily in the same physical space accelerated the development of elite talent at a speed no other country matched. Korea's first professional esports league, the Korea Esports Association, known as KeSPA, was established in 2000, and televised StarCraft matches were broadcast on dedicated cable channels to audiences of millions. That institutional investment has had lasting consequences. Korean players and coaches have dominated international esports competitions across multiple titles for over 2 decades. The global streaming platform Twitch, launched in 2011, built much of its early architecture around the kinds of viewing behaviors: long sessions, community chat, live competitive events that Korean audiences had normalized years earlier. Today's multi-billion-dollar esports industry, from league franchising to influencer-driven game marketing, follows patterns that were stress-tested first inside Korean PC bangs. The PC bang story is ultimately about what happens when affordable infrastructure meets a moment of social rupture. Korea did not plan to invent esports. A financial crisis, a government broadband program, and the entrepreneurial instinct of thousands of small business owners combined to create conditions that no single institution designed. The universal pattern here is familiar. Transformative cultural industries rarely emerge from deliberate top-down strategy. They emerge from the edges, from cheap rooms, borrowed time, and people with more skill than opportunity. Silicon Valley had its garages, Detroit had its basements, Korea had its PC bangs. What made Korea's version globally consequential was the speed at which it scaled. the seriousness with which it was institutionalized, and the broadband backbone that connected every room to every other. Any country watching a new digital behavior take root in its youth population would do well to study what Korea did next and how quickly it moved.